I've just decided to buy a KTM Freeride E. I've not yet received it yet. It's on the picture here behind me. It's being mounted in a shop, should be here in a week's time. So I've did some considerations before picking this. I actually want to make a movie before receiving it, before driving it, just in the process of evaluating and learning to know the product as it's coming. KTM made some films about it. They have stuff on the homepage. It's a sporty bike. It can do off-road. It do everything with battery, no emission. So this is a short presentation from their webpage. So what is the product? This is from the webpage of KTM. They have 3 models. The cross model, only for off-road driving, but also you can put a number plate on 2 of them. One is the XM and XC for road or for off-road use mainly. It comes with a special electric engine. There is no gearbox. It's a 28 kilo power pack battery, lithium-ion, a charger. It's waterproof, and there is a display with several ways to tune it. This will be a video where I spend some time to go through the product. I will go into some details, so if you just are out for action, maybe you can look at one of the later movies I'm going to make. But this is for you that have the patience to go through the product. I'm in the process of learning to know the product as the bike arrives. I read about the development of this one. In some places it stands that it was 30 horsepower. Now it's the peak power of 22 horsepower, and also I can see that the battery has been developing from 2011. It seemed to be a Panasonic battery on 2.1 kilowatt hour. Now it's 2.6 kilowatt hour, and it's Samsung cells. So there has been a slightly development. It is actually A1 certified. So in Norway, where I live, a 16-year-old person with a driving license can drive this. But it has this wonderful peak power, and it also have this magnet engine that with no brushes inside, it can be driven slowly. You can start it on the spot. I think it's a quite robust engine. From webpage, it's 15 horsepower continuously, 22 horsepower maximum peak power, 260 volt. It will take 1 hour 33 minutes to charge it. We will see later on the charger. It has quick charging mode and slow charging mode. There is no it's only single transmission. That's one of the good things with the electric engine. The torque of 42 Newton meters. That's quite impressive. You can consider that this is actually made from approximately 0. It just goes right into the case. It gives the torque at once. That is very different from the engine of the fuel engine and so on. It's many quality suspension, good brakes. KTM is a quality factory, so I trust in what they choose. I've been now looking through the manual. The dealer sent it before I received the bike, so I can go through it. And many people, they like to drive first and read the manual afterwards. I'm one of those guys that normally read a manual before, so I don't destroy things. I do things optimal, and I love to learn to know the product I'm going to use. So here is in Swedish text. It's quite many pages, and I know some of not only me, actually like some details about products. So I would go through some main points in this manual. First, you have a lot of stuff like being take care about this, take care about that. I think they just write it to get the lawyers off their neck if something should happen. So it's many pages. But if you're a skilled motorcyclist, you know most of these things. It comes with a very short guarantee in Norway with for the motorbike, but the batteries have 3 years of guarantee. It's only 1 or 2 months for the rest of the bike. It will tell you how to maintain and use the battery. Actually, this bike consists of 2 batteries. There is a 12 volt battery that I think take care of the lights and so on. And you have the driving unit that is 240 volts. The big battery can charge the little battery. The little battery is the 12 volt battery. That's so small that if you keep the light on, just having the switch on, it can empty itself quite quickly, but it will be supported by the big battery. It then tells how you can find the number of the parts. And some basic information. How you can lock the steering. And this is a road version. So you have the lights, you have the electricity, and you have the locks. So they go through the display. They say you can choose in different maps. And if you see the graphs here, it shows mainly how it functions. Button number 1, that's the economy version. It will start slowly and it will not go to maximum output. Then you have number 2, that also will start quite slowly, but it will accelerate much as you add more power to the handlebar. The third one is the advanced, where the force is coming immediately. So this will do for different kind of driving. This is the 3 main adjustments. So mainly for the display, this is not like a Tesla display that shows a lot of information. It's very simple. I don't know why they choose it like this. Maybe because it's going to be waterproof or something. If there's something wrong with the engine, it will blink here. The indicators for how much electricity you have left is indicated in the sides, both sides. It will go down as the battery wears out. So every lamp's lighting, that will show level of 80 to 100% electricity. Down to the next, that would show 60 to 80%, and the third would show 40 to 60. You then go, and the bottom lamp will first light. That will indicate 40 to 20%, and then it will start to flash, or it will be red. Then it's between 20 and 10%, but then it will start to flash red until 10 to 0 level, and just at the end also the speed will go down. It will not allow you to take full power. It will kind of just give you the chance to rescue back to the base. Because it's so few buttons here and it's a lot of information that is going to be given, I think it's quite complicated how it will blink. The different lamps will blink slowly, quickly. There will be the sound signal. Everything indicated different states. So it's not intuitively. You actually then need to read it firmly, or even have some message with you to understand. But when it's low temperature, like under 9 Celsius degree, the bike will start just giving 80% of the power. It's below 0 degrees, it will reduce to 50% of the power. And so it will go on. But as you are using the engine, the power, the battery pack, that will heat up itself. And when it's heating, like if you start in -2 degrees, that can happen in Norway, of course. It's a northern country. You need to switch off all the ignition system. And then if you start again and the bike realizes that now the temperature is like above 10 degrees, you will have full power. It will not be able to feel it itself. You need to stop it and kind of reboot it, and then it will increase the power. The same thing happens when the system is heating. Even though it has a kind of liquid cooling system, and it's an electric engine, it can be too hot. And then also the power will go down. It will shut partly down itself. And then also you need to restart all the ignition system, so it can then sense the temperature and give more power back. It then explains a little bit about the speedometer and the information that you can get from the display, like speed, driven hours, what the time is, and if you are going to measure it in miles or kilometer an hour. So this is, I think, just quite similar as many other bikes. There is a service indicator that also you can adjust, so it will remind you often or not so often. Even though this is an electric vehicle, they say some parts still can be hot, like the brakes and the engine. It has not a lot of braking power, so you have to use the ordinary brakes. It don't seem as it's generating any electricity when it's braking. That's not normal about with this kind of bikes, and not e-bikes either, but in cars it's very common to have a regeneration process. So they do the warning about don't touch the hot parts and so on. Then the owner manual goes through what needs to be checked, like fuel liquid, different kind of things you need to check at different kind of kilometers or driving hour. It then will instruct you how you can treat the suspension system in front and in the rear wheel. And what I like about this, it not tell that you need to go to the garage for everything. Actually, they realize people owning this kind of vehicle very often can do many things themselves. So they actually instruct you how you can do a lot of things yourself. It's just sometimes they say you need to go to the garage to have something fixed. Like you cannot open the electric engine, you cannot open the battery cells. So they also warn you that if the battery cells are destroyed or damaged in any way, that can be a bad process. So that's a serious issue, especially if it's deformed a little bit. So here is a good instruction how you can make it personal, how you can adapt it to your own weight. So they instruct quite well about this. So it's the normal thing about the chain, how you should adjust it, how much you could take it up and down. And they seem to have a good chain originally, an X-ring, not O-ring. So I think it's a good and expensive chain that I use when you get the bike as new. In the manual they also present the brake system, changing wheels. As for me, I actually bought 2 wheel sets. One off-road set with bigger wheels and one for road use with a 17 tons wheel. So this is the picture of the main wheel I have, but I also bought an off-road set. So I don't need to change the tire every time, I can just switch it on and off. So I hope I will have a lot of that would be helpful for me. Normal things like how should your tires be, how much air should you have inside. Here is the picture of the 12-volt battery that is included. It's very small. The fuses, how to change bulbs and lights, check the electricity system, and how to get the battery pack in. There are 4 bolts here that you makes it tight. And here you also have the charger. My dealer said that it weighed approximately 25-30 kilo, maybe more. So it's a heavy thing. I wonder if I could just put it in the bag and have it as I go a trip. I could take a cup of coffee, I could have it along with me, and just kind of charge the bike while before the tour is continuing. But that seems to be very difficult. It's heavy and it's strong. It's the charger, and it's a box where you can give instructions to the main charger. It has two fuses, 10 ampere and 30 in, that can indicate how fast you can charge the bike. Of course, you need to have the right kind of fuses to have it on the fast mode, but also you have kind of like a storage mode. Then you need to empty the bike until 50% of the battery capacity, and then it will maintain itself like storage mode. When the bike is new, they tell that you are going then to fully charge it, and you need then to drive to empty the battery totally the first time and then charge it again. If you use the quick charging mode, if you use it like 20 times, you then need to take it more slowly. So there are instructions how you can do it optimally. And I think actually knowing how to maintain the battery maximum, that's a very important thing, because these battery packs, they cost a lot of money. And I know from experience with other lithium-ion batteries that if you treat them the wrong way, they will not last this long. So at my KTM, I definitely want to do things right to get it a long life and get a lot of power from it. It's many things about the battery pack. And also there is a little cooling system. It's not much. It's just like 0.7 liter of fuel or of liquid here to cool the gearing system or engine system. So that's very little compared to fuel engines. And mainly to maintain this, you need to change gear oil, every 50 hours. That's actually the main thing you should do. And also you should have the battery pack checked by the KTM dealer every 50 hours to maintain the guarantee of the battery. That is 3 years. If you don't maintain it, you can lose the chance of having it on the guarantee. So mainly, what should you do on the engine? Nothing. It's locked, it's waterproof, or they don't recommend you to drive underwater, of course, but and they also say you should not wash it by taking a water compressor. You should use only normal water and normal tools here, because having water inside the battery or engine, that's not good. Even though they protected it very well, if you steam it with very high power of water, it can go inside nearly everywhere. So this is the picture of what you should do, washing it. How you should clean it. And so at the end it comes a long program of how you can diagnose the bike. It will, like I told, it's very few lamps and they will blink in different ways, and that indicates different conditions. And you will find the list here. If this is blinking like this and this, then it can be that and that problem. But maybe it functions well. So it's more also if something is wrong with the charger, how you can deal with it. And then it's technical information. Also how hard you should pull some of the nuts and the bolts so they are not destroyed. It stands 2 deciliter of gear oil. That's not much, and as I told, 0.7 cooling liquid. But actually I feel this is a manual that gives me a good feeling. You will find what kind of oil to use for the gearbox, also for the suspension. So this is it. I look forward to get the bike. Of course there are a lot of more details here, but roughly this is what it tells about the KTM Freeride E. I look forward to use it. I will use it like just small trips around where I live, a little bit off-road, a little bit on-road. So I'm really looking forward to this. I will make more films as the bike is coming, so just see them about the practical thing, about me showing the vehicle. So I'm waiting, soon the bike will be here. I'm really looking forward to it.